the bars and the people and the drama and everything all has a lot to do with that. And just like going through like the ebbs and flows of that. And
Yeah,
obviously you have to like, maybe give yourself a break before you're ready to fall back into it. But
I agree with you. And I don't want you to name names or anything, but what type of drama would you be referring to? Like what kind of stuff goes on between people that ruins it for you or frustrates you?
just pettiness, jealousy, just rumors in general, just out of pocket, bizarre things that are said that are just, meant to hurt other people and um, like cliques, groups, bullying. It's like high school bullying at your local bar. I
Yeah.
just think all of it in combination with each other, people who are like way too full of themselves. I think that TikTok and social media has definitely brought a lot of drama to the bar scene as far as who's better than who's a better dancer, who's has a following, who this, that, and the other. And I just think it's so completely unnecessary and people lose sight of the fact that we're all here for the exact same reason to literally just dance. So I think it's
Uh,
really sad.
I remember that time that you were very frustrated because you were new to it, and that was what was weird for me is because I didn't know anybody else at the time who had a following when I started, blowing
Hmm.
up. I had to learn how to handle it myself, and I went through some of the things that you talked about, and that was I made it a point for me with people like you, and other friends that I had who started gaining a following of just like calling you or texting you, just being like, hey, just so you know, if you ever need to talk about something need to vent, like I'm here, call me, because it was very lonely at first. But I remember you calling us and you were like, these people, after I passed them on TikTok and a following, they like basically won't talk to me anymore. And they're like very jealous, and that's the shit that you deal with, and it's insane.
Yeah, it's definitely it's just weird. It is just weird. I remember, yeah, like definitely coming into it that it was just something that I wasn't used to in the slightest. I mean, I like to think that I have like pretty like I feel like all of us really have to have like thick skin and tough skin like throughout everything with the comments that we deal with all of that. But just like experiencing it in real life is just crazy to
Yeah.
me. The fact that just the way that people act is insane. Because what's the point? You know what I mean? Like sometimes I feel like I come in to teach a lesson, I'm like getting bullied from the side, and I'm like, why? Why? Why are
You're
we doing
sitting there
this?
trying to make a living and help people how to dance.
Yeah. Then again, I'm used like I think bullying builds character, honestly. Like not doing the bullying, but like being bullied 100% builds character. Like I got bullied so hard in high school, and I think it made me a better person?
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
were
I was a
you
weird
bullied
kid in
for?
high school and I was a nerd.
You were a
Hmm?
nerd.
100%.
Like what kind of bullying? What were people saying to you?
Oh my God, I was just so weird. I was just like that kid who was like super into academics and really like involved in everything. And like I would just say my weird, quirky, off the wall comments. I don't really have much of a filter and I would just get made fun of for it? And I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it wasn't like from I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, and I wasn't like the cutest kid back then. I was really, really skinny, so I would always get made fun of for my weight. I had acne, so I would get made fun of for my skin, like all sorts of different things, just typical high school stuff. But I mean, I was also just weird, which I am still weird. Now I just own it, I guess, a little bit better and don't let myself like get bothered by other people.
But isn't it cool though, the older you get, that when you find the right people to surround yourself with who appreciate you for who you are, then you have those forever friends. And if you
Hmm.
didn't go through that stuff in school, then you may not appreciate, me and Emily's friendship as much as you have. And same goes for me, as much as I was bullied and picked on and stuff when I was younger. Because you go through that, it makes you appreciate the weird, cool people in your life.
Hmm. For sure. We are all definitely some interesting individuals, I'll say that.
But I think it also pans out. I would rather be who I am. I think it translates well on social media, which has given us extra business opportunities. We've met some plenty amazing friends because we're not afraid to talk to people and just be ourselves. And I think that's what probably rubs people wrong the most is that we're just not afraid to be ourselves.
Yeah, I think it is definitely like a big part of being successful in social media is just being so authentically yourself and allowing, people to see like all aspects of your life and all sides of your life rather than just being superficial. But I don't know. I also disagree with you on that a little bit because I think that at times you do um give off like not to be ingenuine or anything, but like to give off like a persona online. And like whenever I first met you, I was like, this guy's gonna be a jerk. Like a conceited jerk, and you're not like that in real life. You know what I mean?
But is it something that I do, or do you think it's people's? Because I don't ever do. I have a little bit of a persona online, but I don't try and get off the persona that I'm a jerk or conceited.
Um, I think it was just like a level of like a high level of like not giving a crap, if that makes sense, and a little bit of cockiness.
Okay. So that's not like thoughts that I like actively think about. I
Yeah.
definitely give off and intentionally give off I don't give a fuck vibes because when I was younger and I did get bullied, and then, you start getting a following on the internet and people are bullying you even more. It's just like, I don't give a fuck what I do. You're going to say something anyways. So I'm just going to lean into it. You are not going to bend who I am because of your comments, whether
Yeah.
in real life or online. So yeah, that I intentionally do push. Is like, I just don't give.
Yeah, also, you don't do it as much anymore, but whenever we first met, you have to keep in mind this was in your phase of doing a ton of reply comment videos to people where you would just like rip them to shreds. Okay, so I was like, this guy's brutal. You don't do that as much anymore. I think you're forgetting that phase in your life because that's right when I met you, and I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with this man? You know what I mean? And then I met you in real life. I was like, wait, you're actually not like that at all.
Yeah. Well, it's because I viewed TikTok as an entertainment platform, and I am me, and so like I grew up watching professional wrestling, and so Ric Flair, who is deemed as like the greatest bad guy of all time, um,
Mhm.
that was who my favorite wrestler was. So growing up, I always wanted to be, in a ring in front of thousands of people and just say something that would make them so mad and just make them all boo you. And I just thought it was like the coolest thing of all time. And he got the chicks and everything, and wore the nice suit and the Rolex, and I was like, that's so cool. And so obviously I'm not the biggest guy in the world. So I was never going to be a professional wrestler. And when I got started getting this following on TikTok, and people were saying this stuff, I was like, oh, this is my chance to just like cut promos on the internet. Like hundreds of thousands of people are gonna follow me, and I'm just gonna go on this mic and I'll be like, oh, you think I'm short? Oh, well, you need to go home and go take care of your hair, or you need to go lose a few pounds, you know? And I only do that when it's like off the wall. Like if I see some people, it's not just like one comment. If I see you trying to harass me, because there are some people, as you know, will leave you 30 to 50 comments a day on posts or multiple
Like
two to
a
three.
dedicated hater.
I
Yeah.
know. I mean, dude, every people have been hating on me for like a year plus, and it's the same
Mhm.
people. I'm gonna come back at you.
Yeah. I mean, they wake up but you have to think like they wake up every morning and they think about you. And they go to sleep at night and they're still thinking about you.
I
And,
know.
they're probably eating lunch like during the middle of the day and they're like, God, what is Johnny doing? And I think that that is such a compliment.
Yes, and they are key because if you want to have a large following, you have to have haters because some people know that you're doing nothing wrong, and then some people think that you're the biggest piece of crap on the planet, and they're going to argue. And then that just boosts the algorithm.
Your
And
engagement. Yeah.
yes, so you have to have that. You have to have that constant battle of evil and good to, yeah. It's crazy to think about, though, how I was before, yeah, when we first met.
You were way more unhinged back then.
It's Emily. She's
Way
got,
more unhinged.
I know. I think I need to go back to that.
That was an iconic time. I mean, you kind of went back to that with your hater of the day on Facebook. That
Oh,
was
I'm
probably
so,
my Have you still been doing that? Has it like been
oh,
popping up like on my feed? Oh, those are my favorite.
yes. Okay. So I had a guy come up to me at Honky Tonk about a month ago, and he says, "Hey, my girlfriend just told me that she follows you on Facebook and that you do these, like, hater of the day posts where you just comment back to people and, like, make fun of them after they made fun of you." And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Dude, what's your handle? I gotta follow you. That's hilarious." I
It
gotta
is so funny. You were on a roll at one point where, like, you did probably, like, 5 in a row that were just iconic, and I remember I would, like, show them to people and be like, "This is my friend Donnie, and this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life."
Okay, so I gotta show you this one. So this girl Janice yesterday, she comments and she says, "What does Emily see in him? He's so gross." And so I just look at her profile, and like she's not a looker. And I'm not trying to be mean, but then here's the kicker: she AI generates half. Which I don't know if you can really see. It's kind of with the light. It's kind of blurry.
Blared, but I can, like, see the basis.
Yes. So she AI generates her photos because she's obviously self-conscious. And I'm not trying to shit on people. But
Mhm.
if you're gonna come at me and say that I'm gross and stuff, I'm gonna come back at you. I feel like that gives me full chance to come back at you.
Yeah, I feel like it's always the people that have close to no room to talk that
Yes, yes. There's
Mhm.
zero
That's
room.
real life though too. I mean, it's always I
Yeah,
mean, just even within the bar, it's always the people that are like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
yeah. And for anybody who watches this, I want to be clear. I don't look at people and judge them by the way that they look or how they want to do their hair. Because frankly, I don't give a crap. Like I just don't.
Mhm.
Like you do you. Whatever. I don't know what phase people of life are in. I've said this several times.
Yeah.
I don't know what phase people are all in different phases. Maybe you like a hairstyle. Maybe 6 months from now, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, "Hey, I don't like that hairstyle." So I'm not gonna judge you for it. But if you're gonna come at me, best not miss. That's all I gotta say. Because I will come back.
Doesn't matter like what they look like or anything like that. That's not the whole entire point. They've shown that their hearts are ugly
Yes.
and that they have, nothing but nastiness oozing out of them. So then they shouldn't be surprised when you attack, you're obviously attacking their character, but then because they attacked yours and whatever. So then at that point it just kind of justifies, you attacking them for whatever reason, but they're the ones who showed, you didn't bully them because of the way they looked or anything like that in the first place. You bullied them because they were ugly on the inside, not the outside.
Yes. I have never commented on like a random person's news. I've never scrolled the internet